Hip hop hooray!
Hey,
ho! That's right.
Hey.
Enduring Guitar Works backstage.
A guided look at life experiences and the ways and means of a guitarist's journey. Yeah, I tried to read that and I still got it wrong.
Docking your pay. I'm docking your pay.
What Keep talking about pay.
No, I'm telling you, you get to park in my driveway, and that's a benefit, and it's a perk, and you should be grateful for it.
I am grateful for that, but does that pay?
I don't know. Ask the guy who I don't let use my driveway.
I have no idea who that is.
I don't even know what that means either.
How's it going, guys? Welcome. It's Tuesday night.
It's Tuesday.
We're here in backstage, and Matt's at the lower level.
The lower
basement.
level.
It's not really the basement because you have your
It's right.
workshop.
It's no longer the basement. It's the land level, the tech level.
Yes.
The level where the magic happens. I think I have too many. I have a problem.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about this.
And what is this problem?
Well, it dawned on me.
Do I need my pen and paper?
You might need your pen and paper. Okay. But it dawned on me today as I was driving up to Kent for the Seattle Guitar Show. And people have been trying to tell me this for a while. But I think I might actually have too many guitars.
Is that really a thing?
I don't know. I realize now that, like, the thing that's... I have all these guitars that are taking up the space that I need for the guitars that I'm making, and I don't know where to put any of these
Well, see, that's the point. You're now making guitars, so you don't really have to buy anymore.
So now I need to get rid of some. I need to get rid of some inventory because I liked my inventory, and now my inventory is like, I don't know. I might need more hangers or something. But what do you think I ought to do? Get rid of them?
I have one guitar, so there's
Would you like
there's a place
guitars?
That maybe one or two can come.
Okay.
You just have to talk to my wife.
Yeah.
She might not like that. Sorry, babe.
So what'd you do this week?
Oh, God.
2 weeks ago, we had Josh Calisti on the show.
Yeah, we had Josh.
Audio Manic.
Josh, we had a good time talking with Josh. He's a local business owner and also does repair and sells merchandise.
Yeah, he's got a really cool niche. He, if you watch the show, he specializes in like offset fenders, so like your Jazzmasters, your Jaguars, your Mustangs, your Jag Stings.
He loves the offsets. It's awesome.
Ran into him at the Seattle show, and he had some beautiful guitars up there. And of course, this was like right after acknowledging that I have this problem, so I didn't come home with another one.
Well, you have self-control then. That's a good thing.
Just a little bit.
Last time you didn't.
Last time I didn't.
I did not go with him to the Seattle show because I was under the weather. I was a little bummed out because I did want to.
You couldn't stand the weather?
Yeah, the weather was just terrible. It was sunny out. It was I had a headache all day and couldn't shake it. So I sat and watched football. Poor me.
Poor you.
But I did feel like crap most of the time.
That's true.
I did laundry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take one if you need. Mine to Jason. I'll take one if you need to clear space. I do need an electric someday.
We'll have to showcase some of these guitars. We'll do like a guitar week. Yeah, thank you for that. So February of 2022, we launched this little show, and here we are.
Has it been that long? Really?
It's been February, yeah.
Wow.
And we've done, like, we're obviously new still. It's still the first year.
New?
It's the pilot year. But 15 episodes into it, I wanted to put someone special on this show. Yeah. Right after we started this show is right around the time that I started watching for like really good examples of other people that are doing similar things.
And at that time, we were on Instagram, not YouTube.
And I ran into a Instagram cast that came out at, I think it was not 5 p.m. at the time, but it came out on Tuesday afternoons, and it was hosted. It was called Tuesdays with Toya, hosted by Victoria Fragoso, who is a Tacoma, Washington independent recording artist. And this show just quickly became like the benchmark that, we held ourselves to, like, when thinking about how do we want to deliver content and what is our mission, and really kind of help keep us in line with or at least, help guide us in those formative episodes, right?
Right, and she was kind enough to have us on her show a few weeks back. So
we are very excited to have Victoria on the show today. So I would like to introduce to everybody Victoria Fragoso. Welcome to the show.
Hi there.
Hey, how's it going?
Cool. Okay.
We can hear you. Yes.
Learning new technology today. So
Yeah, we
Thanks
were.
for bearing with me.
No, no
No, it's
worries.
fine. Yeah, as we were running our tech run through before the show, we sort of noted that every episode there's a new problem or a new challenge. It's never the same one
Yeah.
twice, you know.
Yeah.
So we just keep
At
learning.
least, yeah, you learn a wide range of things as opposed to just the same thing over and over.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I was wondering if we could just kind of start the show by asking you, like, tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you find yourself doing all these different facets of music? You're recording, you're performing, you're helping other artists, you're running your own show,
You're writing.
you're writing. What brought you to this?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for being so kind about my show. It really means a lot because obviously part of the intention was to connect with other artists and other musicians, but also to show people like who don't necessarily know what it's like to be an indie musician, like what it is really like. I think I didn't know what it really was because I tried not to do this for so long. I really love writing music, but that is where my comfort level pretty much ends. I didn't like performing, even though I would go to open mics and things and do like school events when I first started writing music, but it just really scares me. And so I think the thing that changed it most was having my daughter, feeling like, oh my gosh, like this potential for new life. And also having preeclampsia was pretty scary. And then just being able to get through that situation and experience, just appreciating like how well things turned out, how to be grateful, and then not to be so scared of things that, you know, typically are very scary, or can be scary. And so, yeah, that just kind of like spurred my initiative to try different things with music. I don't like not trying all of it because then I feel like I'm not really going to know if I like something or not. And so that's why I've been trying so many things. And like most of my life, I enjoy most of the things that I'm doing. I think that's I don't know if there's anybody listening or if you guys are like this, but I just want to like try everything and do it all. Especially when I was a kid, I wanted to be like 4 different things when I grew up, not just one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's been yeah, it's just like, oh, but you really love music and there are so many things you can do with music. So
It's one of the things
That's
that
where
I've
I'm at.
actually been learning about recently, thanks to TikTok. Is
Don't ever say
Wow.
thanks to
Wow.
TikTok.
I know, right? I actually learned something from TikTok. No, there's a thing, multi potentialites. It's folks that
Multi-potentialized.
you start something and you can't really finish it because you
Okay.
get kind of sidetracked with everything else, right? It's the master, the jack of all trades, master of none kind of mentality, except for you're to the extreme where you can't actually finish something. It's kind of where I'm at.
Got it.
I start something I have a hard time finishing because I get sidetracked with another interest. So I think that's kind of similar
no,
to what
definitely.
you're talking about.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I heard a good quote the other day. It said procrastination is just or perfection is just another form of procrastination too. I think sometimes we're like so hard on ourselves about what we think we can achieve, or what we think we can finish correctly. So yeah, that kind of makes me think of that. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
I think
not
that's
being able to
goes-
finish.
That goes really well with the whole perfectionism is the enemy, or is the enemy
perfection
of
is the enemy of good.
good. Yeah, you know, but
Yes.
And Mind Adjacent says
yeah.
that's relatable. So
Yeah.
I dig what you're saying about you know having your child. I was when you were saying that, I was thinking sort of about like the full circle response to that, where like I remember now. Granted, a lot of the things that I have launched into lately came a result of like after having 3 children, so I don't really like know. I guess it kind of a snowball effect. But I do remember that after I had my first kid, you know, she's 14 now. Like that was where I started realizing that you're accountable to more than just yourself, and you do have to be an example, and you do have to put yourself out there and risk these things. And what's weird is when you get to this level that you start watching your kid to face those same like, can I do this? I'm not in my comfort zone. I am in discomfort, and you have to somehow like not as a parent, but as a peer in a way, explain or show, lead. You were the catalyst that allowed me to push myself harder, and now it's my job to drive you in the same fashion without them like totally resenting you in the process.
I feel
Which
that.
is never
fine
going to
line.
happen.
I feel that so much with my 19-year-old,
Yeah.
and you know, it's
Wow.
my adopted son. I mean, I've not actually adopted him. It's just I married his mother 6 years ago.
But
We've been
still,
together for
the
10 years.
relationship, yeah.
It's my stepson. So, yeah, 19 years old, and it's like he comes to me with things, and I can't get mad at him because I did worse at his age, and still trying to lead to, you know, becoming the best person that he can be. And it's definitely a challenge, and it's one that it's very fulfilling.
Yeah. What did music look like
Absolutely.
in your life? So before you had that realization that you were gonna push yourself past this point, how did it exist in your life beforehand? When did you first pick up an instrument, and what was it? Piano? Was it uke? What was it?
It was piano, and I took lessons from my next door neighbor.
Okay.
And yes, nice, and yes, not Mrs. Behrens. She was amazing. She really taught me a lot, even though I didn't want. It's not that I didn't want to learn. It's just when I went to practice, I would start to play piano pieces that I'm supposed to be learning, right? But then I'm just messing up the end or finding other things to play through reading music. And so it just got to the point. I think I know she was frustrated with me. I mean, I didn't practice per se, but I was on the piano. I just didn't learn the pieces that she gave me. So that's where that started. And then I had always been in choir, at least since like second grade, I think. So just singing a lot, and then having to be not having to be, but being an alto in a choir, you learn like a lot of harmonies. And so I grew up to appreciate that a lot. And just kept going from there. I tried out for some musical theater in school. I got a solo, and realized that's when I realized I didn't really like being the center of attention or performing or being like having to sing solos, and acting too. Acting is not something that I love to do.
Sure.
So being on stage like that was a little bit much, but I kept doing it, and I did it all through high school. It was really fun to be a part of the musicals because there were bigger productions and stuff. And I finally got a lead role. I did always audition for the lead role just because I felt like I need to try. I don't know why. I mean, because I knew I wasn't going to get it, but I thought, well, if I'm not going to get it, like, then there's really no pressure. But it was good. It was a good experience. And then just kept doing that. Writing my songs, I started probably when I was 15. And then whenever, you get those creative projects that you have to do for class, I did, I wrote a couple of songs about Fahrenheit 451 in 8th grade. So that's where that started. And then I wrote one about the Great Gatsby sometime in high school. And so, yeah, it just kept going. But I kept writing songs. I just didn't release them or share them or like produce them. I'm always more interested in the writing process than the production process, just because I feel like once I write a song, it's like, okay, we're good. Like now I've gone through this, and now I can write it down, and now I need to go to the next thing. So that's been another switch in my priorities, I guess. Yeah.
No, I totally feel that, because I'll write a tune, and I'm not much of a lyricist. That's where I struggle. I'll write these instrumentals, and it's not because I don't know if I like the layers of the instrumental music, or if it's just a way to get out of trying to write lyrics for a piece. Like is it one or is it the other? But you dump so much energy into writing the piece, and then for me, when it comes time to, okay, well, now it's time to record it, there's this like level of discipline that you have to have, because it feels so much like starting over. Like, how am I really going to take it from it's here to going back?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that's
you're starting at square one again. Yeah.
That's got to be. I mean, for me, it's completely different. I've written kind of both ways, and sometimes you find the riff, you write the tune, and then you write the lyrics, and you kind of change the tune a little bit to fit the lyrics, so that it's you're stretching out the parts, so four becomes 6 becomes 8 times through a riff or whatever. Other times I get this kind of a song in my head, and the lyrics come first. I write down the lyrics, and then I try to fit a tune with a riff that I've written to those lyrics, and it's like it kind of all comes together.
That's pretty cool.
It's different phases, but it's never like I've written a whole piece and then have to step back.
Yeah.
To get
I think
the whole thing finished.
that's really cool to see, and I like that tip too, because I did try this recently at one of my last sessions where we were writing a song and having the lyrics that I had that didn't fit the melody or the beat that needed to be
Mm-hmm.
completed. And so just adding like filler words to make it bigger
Mm-hmm.
and fit the way that it should was yeah. So that's a really great tip. And then also, um, I think sometimes there are people who are maybe just if especially I think if you have production skills starting from like just starting to write as a production is so much easier than having like to like I'm not really into production in terms of doing it myself. I'd rather just write the song. So
Mm-hmm.
when you do that, when you take the time to do that, I feel like it goes so much quicker.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that could be a part of it. Yeah, when you have the whole, it's almost like it comes to you produced as a full song, and you have to then write it down in phases almost to get it out,
Mm-hmm.
and then produce it.
Right on.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, how would you feel about maybe let us hearing a little bit of music?
Yeah.
Yes, that'd be great.
Very cool.
Would you guys think I should play the piano pieces first or the ukulele? What would you rather
Whatever you
hear?
feel like playing is perfect with us.
Entirely up to
Do,
you.
let's, you know what?
Great.
It's a guitar show. Let's do the uke first.
Yeah.
Okay,
There
we'll
you
do
go.
the uke first. Sounds good.
Cool.
Thanks for helping me out with that. I was like, I'm not
Absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. My indecision. Let's hope I do this. Oh, I think I do it. Just when the days start getting colder, I walk the streets I never knew. There's some words I never told you. The sound rings out like the truth. And if you could see what's come over me, then you would know. 'Cause I'm walking free, wind at my back, fading out the glow. As I sit here in this dark room, all I seem to feel is light. I see color, I see the maroon in the blood of this life that's ours. And if you could see what's come over me, then you would know. 'Cause I'm walking free, the wind at my back, fading after. Watch the sun paint an orange sky. Lay me down and feel the days gone by. Just when the days, just when the days, just when the days start getting longer, I walk the streets I never knew. The sun comes out for you, and if you could see what's come over me, then you would know. 'Cause I'm walking free, wind at my back, fading out the glow. 'Cause I'm walking free,
fade and afterglow. Oh, oh.
Beautiful. Absolutely
Thank you.
beautiful.
So that's a song by Vanessa Carlton. I've always loved her music and always been inspired by her. I remember hearing on the radio that she was a singer-songwriter, and at that point in my life, I'd never really realized that you could be a songwriter as like a job. So that was my like lights on moment. So yeah.
Very cool.
Thanks.
You want to do one more before we get back to
Yes.
chatting?
Absolutely. I'm gonna play Nonversation. So this was the last song that I released, but this was the B side of the release.
Right on.
Love is many praises, thoughts so sweet it tastes that the sugar high that I get when I breathe in. Love makes many changes. You find yourself in places you never thought you'd find yourself before. This conversation is getting quite dangerous. How can I know what you're thinking for sure? This conversation, I can't take it anymore. What are you making eyes at me for? Love has many graces, it just can't look away. There's nothing like the sight of fire breaking heart. Love has many faces, lures you in with gazes till you can't see the exit anymore. This conversation I can't, it's getting quite dangerous. How can I know what you're thinking for sure? This conversation, I can't take it anymore. What are you making those eyes at me for? Take my hand, close my eyes. This love, it makes me feel alive. Take my breath, close my mind. This love, it makes me feel. This conversation is getting quite dangerous. How can I know what you're thinking for sure? This conversation, I can't take it anymore. What are you making those eyes at me for?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you played that one.
Good.
No, I'm serious. So I wrote down a few things that I wanted to talk to you about, and I'm probably gonna be a little scatterbrained here because they kind of weave together. And I guess one of the things that's like really impressed me about your originals from day one is that as soon as I hear a new one, it does not take long until it's like it's clicked. Like it's so wild. Like I will hear, like you'll put out something. It's, hey, it's out on Spotify. Hey, it's out on Trubify. Or you put a thing in an Instagram story, and like I hear it once, I then want to listen to it twice, and then it's like there for a week, and like it's
love
just
it.
in my head. And
That is so good to hear. Thank you.
which I think has to do with like a lot of, obviously, I think Brian wants to talk to you about, writing with the literature and all that. So I think like it's songwriting, it's melody, it's everything. But
well, and that's what you're hoping for with pop
yeah.
music, right? And kind of the singer-songwriter. You want to get that kind of earworm. You want it to stick in someone's head and to want more of it and to want to hear it again and again.
But I had this funny moment the other day. So, nonversation is not a phrase that I've ever heard before.
Yeah, that's a great term.
And it must have been like it was so it wasn't just earwormed. It had actually like worked its way into my vocabulary without me realizing it. My 4-year-old was just like chattering at me about every different kind of nothing at once. Like there wasn't even like a pattern to the nothing. And I was just like, dude, you're hitting me with all these, you're hitting me with these nonversations that I don't know how to keep up. And then I like stopped there and I was like, I don't think that's what she meant in the song, but I think it works.
Oh, totally. No. And I think that's one of the interpretations. And that's what I love about, literature and words and things. There's definitely multiple interpretations, but I try to pick like a definition for the song. But yeah, there's tons of conversations like that for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel like it's a song about relationships or like, you have those conversations where you're not talking, but you're still communicating. Yes. Or where you're talking and not communicating. It could be either one. I'm curious, kind of go back a little bit. You were talking about when you were in high school writing some songs about some of the books that you wrote or read. Yeah. Excuse me. You didn't write The Great Gatsby.
I wish.
No, I think she said that. I think she did.
But writing songs about literature that you'd read that's one of the things that I do. That's one of the things with Gunslinger. Awesome. Our whole thing is kind of based around the Dark Tower series from Stephen King. Sweet. So the child rolling to the Dark Tower came, right?
So cool.
So there's a lot of stuff that I write that's from literature. Not everything, but how much would you say that you still do that? I mean, you said that you did that in high school. Do you still use literature today to pull your ideas, or is it life experience?
It's mostly life experience, but a lot of some of the songs that I've been bringing back have been based off of literature. But I guess now that I think about it, though, I play a lot of the stuff that I've been inspired by writing before, but I don't think I've produced, because I did. Let me just backtrack. So Always and Kiss at High Frequency, I released this year. I also released Lost, Conversations, Love Goes Free, Possibility. Yeah, none of the songs that I released this year were based off of literature, and I haven't written one in a long time. I think the last one that I wrote probably was either one about the Phantom Toll Booth, and I call that song Symphony. I was just listening to it last night. I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this song. And that's what's cool about writing songs sometimes and not producing them. You forget that you have them, and then rediscovering them is pretty cool. And then, or it was one that I wrote about Greek mythology. My father-in-law really likes the song. It's called Head Over Heels. And so it's from the perspective of Hera loving Zeus, even through all of his, oh no, it's not. So it's Head Over Heels. So it's Achilles. And then I don't remember who, it's been such a long time. Who is his love interest?
Oh God, I forget. But
I'm gonna look this up.
It's your phone.
But yeah,
it's a part of the Hellenic, the Troy saga, right?
Yes, yeah. So that's what I wrote the song about. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it was awesome. Fun though. It's fun, and that's so cool that you do that too, because it's important. I think I saw a quote from some artists recently that like books were like Brussels sprouts for them, and they don't really like Brussels sprouts. And I was just thinking that I think reading and books are so important as a writer. Even if you're writing music and you're still writing lyrics, it's so important to read if you're gonna write. Mm-hmm. But in this day and era, I think it's really harder we're all on TikTok, we're all watching things versus like reading things. Yeah. So I don't know, that shift in focus is a little scary.
That's an interesting perspective. I mean, I was never much of a reader up until the last probably 10, 15 years. I did not read in school very much. And now I'm reading all that I can. I read Dune before I saw the movie and that kind of stuff.
Okay, cool. My husband did that too. It's a great book.
But a lot of the songs I write are also about science fiction television series or movies. So like I like to take context and story from other places and make it not necessarily. So like one of the songs that I wrote was Master of Darkness is about Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars, right? But I
Cool.
never say that it's the Emperor Palpatine. I never talk about Darth Vader. I don't make it like completely obvious, except for the fact that the song is entirely the Imperial March.
So cool. Oh my gosh.
You know, we took the
I
riff
love it.
and made it its own thing. And
You're wearing a shirt
That's
that
cool.
says Endorian Guitar Works, you know.
I love it.
mean, we're
Those are
obvious,
cool shirts,
who
by the way.
obviously
Yeah.
we're
What's Star
nerds.
Wars? What's Star Wars?
But so yeah, I mean, and there's so much of the music I listen to is
Yeah.
influenced by Tolkien and other writers like that. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that
cool.
a lot. But it, you know, a lot of writing comes straight from the imagination too. So like when I started writing, I was listening to a lot of Iron Maiden at the time. So I tried to write
Got it.
like Iron Maiden, and I had no idea what the hell I was writing. So it was a little bit weird and awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of, you
That's
kind of
really
have to
cool,
know
yeah.
the context of what you're doing. So I think when you read a book, you get more context, or you watch a full series and you want to write something about that. You know, it's kind of like reading a book.
Yeah.
So,
It's like a reinterpretation. And so, yeah, just
right. Yeah. And it's, we can feed off of other art. And I think that's, I think back through time when I was studying music in college, Rachmaninoff wrote this opus that was amazing about a series of paintings that he saw in Leipzig,
that's so cool.
and it was the Island of the Dead series. So he wrote this
Oh my
song,
God.
and it's like mixed meter, and it's phenomenal. I mean, Rachmaninoff is
I'll have to check
awesome.
that out. So cool.
So it's like you see that a lot, I think, throughout classical through modern music, that people are taking inspiration from other art in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So
That's really cool. I do have a song that I wrote based off of a ballet that I watched. And that was interesting for me because, I never had that experience before. I don't know. That just didn't normally happen for me. But I remember specifically, like, just the words and, like, I can still kind of picture it in my head just because that moment is so ingrained and tied to what I wrote. But I also did that for a school assignment anyway. So I don't know. I just couldn't. I was like, I'm just going to make music my school. So.
So I want to take a minute to and kind of jump off of something that you were going in a direction. I think you have a very, very unique vocal quality. And sort of when we're talking about what influences us, and as we're developing our style, you know, you started listening to Iron Maiden and writing like Iron Maiden. And I think so many guitar players, songwriters, what have you, are in their younger years are trying to sound like somebody, and then like you come to this turning point where it's like you're either going to spend your life mimicking or you're going to develop your own style. And sometimes we don't really realize that we've found our style because we're still thinking of our influences. And when did you get to your point where you feel like you adapted or you found your style and this is Victoria's voice?
or have you yet?
Or have you? Yeah. Where are you on that journey?
I haven't really thought about it very, very cognitively. Like I do get feedback that I should think and work on my vocal because I don't probably sing consistently, maybe, especially when it comes to live performance. And I just haven't focused on it because I didn't really think about it too much. I remember, I guess one of the earliest memories I have of being in a choir that I wasn't able to, what do you call it? You not rehearse, but like you audition. So I auditioned for one of these choirs and I didn't get in, and they said it was because my voice didn't blend. And so I feel like I've always sang in a certain way and I haven't really thought about it or tried to blend in. And so that was one of the first experiences I had with that. But when I was growing up, I mean, I listened to a lot of Shakira, a lot of Ana Gabriel. Like, these women have strong, powerful, unique voices, Christina Aguilera. And I don't sound like them, but I feel like I definitely, if I am really getting into a song, it's usually with the kind of passion that I remember hearing when I listen to them.
That definitely, I can see that for sure.
You're finding like the influence in the passion, not necessarily in the sound or style. Just that,
Yeah.
Okay.
I just haven't really focused on it, and I take some time to do it every performance, but it's not something I'm gonna probably sit down and just focus. Like, I'm gonna figure out what my vocal voice
Yeah.
is like this weekend. I wish I could, because I think it would be really nice to be consistent, but at the same time, I always want to learn. I think we all want to like constantly learn, and
Yeah.
specifically with vocals, I feel like,
Yeah.
it's never going to be just the way I like it. I'm going to keep trying new things and changing it. So.
Well, and maybe it sounds like that's probably been working for you, rather than where so many of us try to like, I want to sound like that, and then I have to go this direction. You just came from the beginning unapologetically. This is my voice. This is how I'm going to sound, and I'm going to I'm going to scream it from the rooftops, and you sound like you.
That's what I think is kind of interesting with what you said about you didn't make the choir because you didn't blend.
Yeah.
Like that's. Well, yeah, you're not trying to fit in, right?
It wasn't,
Outside of that,
which
you're doing your own thing.
If I was thinking about it, but yeah.
Well, but it's got its own set of positives to it, right?
Yes,
So,
yeah, for sure.
have you, outside of choir, have you ever taken any other vocal lesson or direction that way?
No, yeah, I guess like I said, I just haven't really. I really, out of everything in music, I've spent the most time just focusing on songwriting and not sharing, and so and not learning essentially. Like, I don't know what it is. I just didn't really push myself to learn like production. I didn't push myself to learn more piano. I really just wanted to know enough piano to write a song. I just wanted to sing enough to write a song, and so. Now that I'm working on developing some of those qualities, I think it's been really fun to learn in those different ways. But with, what was the original question? Sorry.
Well, it's just, you're talking about like not making the choir because you couldn't blend, but at the same time, like that's a positive, and whether or not you've taken any lessons or had any instruction to kind of direct that individualism, I guess, as it were.
No, but I really appreciate you entertaining that line of questioning, because I feel like, the questions that come to me sometimes, like from a student level, you've got that, I don't necessarily know what I want to do, but I want to know how to play a song. And then the next level is, well, I really like playing songs or playing tunes. And I know I want to make this part of my life, but I want to start sounding like me. And there's that, songwriting identity crisis that goes there. So it's interesting to hear, like the whole mission here is to meet guitar players, meet musicians on their journey and help them take the next step. And I think that's a big point. I think that everyone gets stuck there at some point. So I'm hoping somebody might listen to this and take some value from your thoughts there.
Yeah, so. I think definitely. We do have mind adjacent. Toya has a very distinct voice. I think it makes all of her music really special and feels consistent to me.
Yeah.
Thanks, mind adjacent.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I've been thinking about how I want to say this, because I don't, like, whatever you're doing right is working. And then also, like, whatever you're doing wrong is also working.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good pairing,
Yeah.
So
I love it.
yeah.
That's
So
great.
I'm curious. It seems it's interesting to me. You're putting out individual songs. You're putting out the singles, which to me is kind of like an old school thing. That's like back to the 50s and 60s, right? Putting out that single. Have you have albums up on your wall behind you? I love that backdrop, by the way. I'm a record head. I've got.
Nice.
Let's see,
I love it.
Record. I make the needle skip.
Oh, so cool.
But
We're all nerds here. It's okay.
Right? Do you have any full length albums out that you'd like to let us know where we could get, or is it just singles right now, or?
I have an EP, and that was the first thing that I released after I had my baby. And so I really, as soon as I had her, I was like, I'm going to set a goal for myself. I'm very goal oriented. I need like a deadline to finish something. So this year, having that goal of like releasing a single every, like, I think it's like 6 weeks or something. I'm really excited and happy that I was able to do it, because last year I think my goal was to do one every single month, and it was too much to maintain during a pandemic ish, and then with a 3-year-old. So but the EP that I released in 2019 is called This River, and it's 5 songs that some of them were older than others, but all of them I did the production for and put every song together. And I would say it's definitely my proudest moment of like all the songs that I've self-produced. I think that it just worked together cohesively. Every time that I would play it like on a drive or something, it just like felt right. And I know it's my music and it seems like silly, not silly, but like, I really loved the experience of creating it and then listening to it. And then I remember being pregnant and shooting a music video for I Thought I Saw You, which was one of the songs on that album. But yeah, it was just a really great set of songs. I don't know, it just came together really nicely. I'm really glad that I set that goal to do that. And yeah, so
Where could we get your music?
Bandcamp is awesome, especially on Bandcamp Fridays when we get all of the proceeds. And then anywhere you stream your music. So it's called This River, and there are 5 songs in there. Any Moment, This River, I Thought I Saw You, Right Time, and then Forgive and Forget. This River was probably my favorite because I named it the title track, but it has sounds from Tacoma during one of the summers. I just like placed the background noise on the song and it just worked. And you have your kids in the background, like there's a door closing. I don't know. I just really like that kind of like, to me, it took me back to that place, and maybe it won't do that for everybody, but I just thought it was, I was like, who cares, if somebody listens to this or not, like this was my goal. I did this, I put it all together. And then I also just wanted to have that piece of like Tacoma in the background. So yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
I totally get that. I remember one time, like 20 years ago, I was camping in the canyon south of Ellensburg.
Okay.
Sorry, as a Midwest or a Midwest, no, mid-state, Central Washington. And it was like the middle of the night, and I couldn't tell what I was hearing, and it just kept getting louder and louder and louder and louder for probably 15 minutes before I could identify that it was a train.
Yeah.
Coming slowly.
Wow.
And then it just exploded like thunder.
Meow.
And then it was gone. And all I could think
crazy.
was like, I wish I had that recorded, because that's exactly
That's so
how
cool.
like an album or a song was supposed to open.
You want to
That's
record?
so cool.
Come out to my house.
All right.
We got the trains going every 20 minutes.
I'm just going to listen to trucks crash into the Mullen Trestle. That's all.
That's a little bit further down than the train. You can do that too.
That's super cool. Yeah. No, I can. That sounds like an awesome way to start a track.
Yeah,
That's really cool. Get it? Because it's on a track.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Start a
There it
track.
is. I love it.
Okay.
I love it. I love it.
Had to do one mom joke. Yeah.
Oh, it's okay.
Thank you for saying mom joke. 'Cause
we're dads. We got the
I'm
dad
tired
jokes,
of
so
taking all the
yeah.
credit for the
There you
puns.
You guys aren't all that funny.
We're not.
jokes
I
are
know.
better.
Like, look,
I mean,
like,
looks aren't everything. Right?
3 views,
Yeah.
Before we return you to your instruments, because we want to hear more.
Yes, we do.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about solo versus playing with a band. Because I see a lot of you doing like small like winery gigs and stuff like that. And like, when do you bring? And I have yet to actually go out and see you live, which I'm trying to fix. But when is it
Working
when
on
is it a
that.
you, and when do you bring the whole crew with you? And or is one more for albums, or is it always the band, or what's your cadence with that?
Honestly, it's just more about availability.
Okay.
If they can make it, then like let's make it happen.
Very
And
cool.
if they can't, then I'm not going to worry about it. There are some things that I decided this year that for me, it's not just about playing a gig, but like where you're playing a gig, what that experience is like because I have a lot of family in the area and they come and support me at my shows, and I love that. But I don't want them, having to eat like terrible food or like
Yeah.
being in like really loud places. So I just have been trying also, and also for me, I get really stressed when I don't have answers for people who are asking me questions, and sometimes I feel like I don't know what an experience is. I say yes to a lot of things and don't know what I'm getting myself into, including gigs. And so I just feel like it's a better not tactic, but it's better for me if I go and play a show somewhere by myself and then figure out like, can I bring the whole band here? Would it be a good experience? Is it a good place to play again? Like, I don't like to be picky. It's just that I do want, I have a lot of great supporters. And if I want, to have them like have an enjoyable night, I need to make sure, including my band, that it's going to be like a comfortable situation for everybody to be in.
That's a really good strategy, and it really speaks to like the selflessness of you as an artist and your music. It's not just about going in there and doing something because we can. It's like, is it smart? Is it everybody's best interest in mind, your audience and the rest of your band, and it is really about the experience. So good on you.
Yeah, I mean that's what live
Yeah.
live music is supposed to be
Yeah.
for, and I already have like such a, not stigma, but it's just an anxiety that just happens to come every time I do a live show. So if it can be as less, as anxious free as possible,
Yeah.
that's like always the goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's always a good goal. Yeah.
Well, on that note, is it okay to ask you to play a couple more tunes?
Yeah.
Yes, I can play 2 more for y'all.
There's
No pressure.
No pressure here. And you already know I'm excited to hear what you have to play. So
Cool. Thank you.
yeah.
Okay, so this next song I'm gonna write. I wish I could write a song. That'd be cool to do sometime.
Let's do that. That'll be a
Write
good
it
show.
on the fly right now.
We could. But this is gonna be "Love Goes Free." So this is the title track for the last release that I just did.
Makes me sad to think all it could have been. Couldn't see the right from wrong. I couldn't say what I knew all along. Every night a wasted dream. The life, the love, the lies you've told me. All coming at my feet. You lean in to kiss me. There's a secret eternity, an ocean between us when love goes free. Love goes free. Love goes free. I don't know what's worse than a fact that tastes like thirst. Well, I'm a desert, we made sense together, but it never worked. I tried to be what you needed, but you never could see it. It's still sound in my mouth from the night you swallowed me whole. You lean in to kiss me. There's a secret eternity, a great space between us where love goes free. Love goes free. Love goes free. Love goes free, love goes free. You lean in to kiss her. There's no words but this picture. A flash in the distance where love goes free. 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 Love goes free.
Very nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
I
you.
dig that one. Yeah.
Yo,
you so much.
I'm picking up a little tone, almost like of a Fiona Apple.
Ooh,
Over
I love
time,
it.
yeah.
I listened to her a lot when I was younger, actually, now that you mention it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little, not a lot. There's just a little bit.
I love it. Cool. Yeah, I used to rent CDs from the library all the time and listen to mostly world music, but I do remember seeing the cover. I would always pick out music by the cover. And I would just like, oh, this is a cool image. And then, so I was exposed to a lot of different types of music. And I just kept like, listening to stuff. But I do remember that I mean, there was an apple on the cover. Was it green?
Gosh,
You know?
I would think so, but I could be thinking of the all the Beatles albums as well.
Oh, okay.
That had
Yeah.
the green apple on the.
Oh, it was green. It was a green image. It was called Extraordinary Machine. That was
Okay.
the one I listened to the most. Yeah.
I remember, a little bit older, but we would dial up the library, right? Like, before high speed, and
on
then
the
Oh my
wired
gosh.
on the
yeah,
wired
right.
phone, the rotary, no,
And
rotary, no,
yeah, but
Love
one
that
day
sound, yeah.
I left high school. I went to the library because I wanted to go check for CDs, and there was a tape, and I had never
a
heard.
cassette, not 8-track.
Right.
Shut it, man. Come on. I had never heard.
Very technical.
I hadn't yet heard of the Posies
What?
at the
Oh.
time,
Oof.
but Amazing Disgrace was there,
Okay.
and so I picked up that, and then it was,
Yeah,
man.
it's gone from there.
Yeah.
It's done. Guy's over with.
But we'll still talking about our age, and I hear song
That's
number
okay.
song number 2.
That's right.
Yeah. So fun fact about that, I switched it up this night. So I played Nonversation on my shows and other places on the piano, but tonight I played it on the uke, and then Love Goes Free. I usually play it on the ukulele, but tonight I played it on the piano.
I love it.
And feedback recently from another artist who said, you really need to try to sing higher. I think you have a really cool like range there. So what you guys were talking about in terms of voice, I'm not thinking about it, but other people are telling me certain things. So I tried it a little higher that time. So I was like, okay,
Right on.
yeah, cool.
It's a beautiful tune.
Thank you. All right, next song is a cover, which if you don't know this band, you should listen to some Muse.
We know Muse.
I know you guys.
Think I'm drowning, asphyxiated. I wanna break the spell that you created. It's something beautiful, a contradiction. I wanna play the game, I want the fiction. You will be the death of me. You will be the death of me. Bury it. I won't let you bury it. I won't let you smother it. I won't let you murder it. 'Cause our time is running out. Our time is running out. You can't push it underground. You can't stop it screaming out. I want freedom, bound and restricted. I'll try to give you up, but I'm addicted. Now that you know I'm trapped, sense of elation. You never dream of breaking this fixation. You will squeeze the life out of me. Bury it. I won't let you bury it. I won't let you smother it. I won't let you murder it. Our time is running out. Our time is running out.
as Mind Adjacent said,
yes, yeah.
Love it.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
make
love
you,
Muse.
I'm gonna make you promise to come down to Olympia. There's this new coffee joint which I'm like raving about. Rhythms Coffee. They do an open mic night every Monday. Come do that.
Okay. I
And
could
some
do
of
that.
yours too.
To make the
'cause-
money work, yeah.
I gotta say, I love when you're doing a cover. If you don't know the song, you don't know it's a cover because you do your whole thing to it. It's not, you're not trying to make it sound like the original. You're doing your own thing to it. It's great. And Mind Adjacent
you.
says he loves Muse. Sorry, I was just reading that and you clicked away.
I'm sorry.
Love
I was
Muse and love
fixing-
Toya's covers. Super jealous of her
Thank
voice.
you.
Amazing. Thank you, Mind
Aw.
Adjacent.
You said something. I didn't want to. I didn't want to interrupt the flow, but you said something about. Somebody said you ought to try to like push yourself, go higher that register, and that.
Yeah.
And it made me think about something that actually happened last evening. I was watching an artist play, and they were tinkering around on a guitar that I had just worked on, and so it was a tenor guitar. It's tuned exactly like a ukulele, but like a fourth down. Effectively a guitar, just
But
only
four
four of
strings.
the 6 strings.
Oh,
And
super cool. Okay.
but they couldn't quite wrap it's an old guitar. You put a capo on it, it all went out of tune. So she played it rather than capoing it, played it open, which was not where her comfort level was, or her range. And she was focusing 100% on how it was not doing a service to her voice. But as watching this, I was watching her push herself harder to do something that she hadn't done before. And quite honestly, once she played it twice. She played it in the other key as well. And where she was not comfortable was a better performance. It was wild. Just like stepping out of the comfort zone and pushing yourself.
Well, I mean,
Even in a vocal.
interesting.
that's something that like even Kurt Cobain did on the live in New York Unplugged.
Oh, wow.
Like he chose songs that were outside of his range just to get that tension in his voice.
Yeah.
And so it's a choice
That's
that
cool.
you can make too
Yeah.
to like push yourself
Yeah.
to get that tension. You know you're gonna have a hard time getting it. God damn it, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try, and it's gonna be that much more emotional. So
But it's
That's cool.
just interesting concept. But
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
that's really interesting. Thanks. Yeah.
So we're hitting an hour, so I want to make sure that we come back and circle back to, I want to talk about Trubify, because I see you go live on Trubify every once in a while. Could you tell us a little bit about that and when we can see you playing live on there?
what is Trubify first of all, and then how
So
does that work?
Trubify is a live streaming app. It's an amazing community and also space for artists. So if you know anything about streaming, artists don't make that much money per stream. In fact, we make I don't even try to keep track honestly, but it's infinitesimal.
It's
like
free
0.00. Yeah, it's quite small, and Trubify is paying 2 cents per live view and 1 cent per archive view. So it's just really cool. I actually, to the beginning of the story, the way that I got involved with them is I used to be in a band with one of the I think he's the CFO, or I'm not sure, but he has helped this company. He started this company from the beginning, and it has been so cool to see and be able to like be with them as this journey continues, from being a small startup company, and then gaining funding and gaining the ability to market, and just the community that they're creating by rewarding the people who are on there, the creators, the musicians. And so it's primarily, like, I guess the best easiest way to describe it would be like it's similar to, at least what I've seen for the Twitch experience. So like you go live from the app, and it broadcasts it to everybody who's following you. But yeah, it's just been really a great experience to get to work with them. I've done scheduled live events with them before concerts and things like that. But it's been really difficult to find consistency in addition to doing Tuesday with Toya. So I did for a while, I think a couple of weeks, try to do Thursday with Toya. I did that last December, I think. Yeah, last December I did a Thursday with Toya for about 4 weeks. And then I tried to do it a couple times, but it was just always so late. So we wait for Piper to go to sleep, and then we are playing afterwards, and it becomes quite like a late thing, but it's fun. It's just, it's really been difficult. I'm also not the person, my husband is awesome and he does the sound, but I don't know as much as he does, and I haven't taken the time to learn, I guess, either. But it's just, trying to set it all up, and having, so also that's hard too when you have like a higher quality thing, going to something that is just, bare bones sometimes can feel like it's not good enough. Right. So even though I could probably just go live from my phone and people would be okay with that, I haven't. So.
No, we
I mean, you guys know how
Parallels, yeah.
So, like, somebody's watching right now, a new artist, they're interested. Whoa, Trubify, that's cool. How do I? Do you just sign up and set up an account and you start playing?
You can just sign up and set up an account.
Wow,
that's
you
really
just
cool.
Okay. Well,
yeah,
cool.
It's free. I mean, it's, you just you sign with your phone number, so there's only one account per phone number, and then you download the app is, I would say, the easiest way to do it. You can do it through the website if you go to app.trubify.com, but other than that, it's harder to access. You can upload like previous content that you've already created and even like schedule it to go live at a certain time.
Cool.
One of the arguments against that is obviously you're not being able to engage with people like you are if you're watching something live. I've really enjoyed most of the live the things that I've seen. There's some really great artists on there. Yuishi, Captain Morganson, I always forget his name, Joshua Yancey. There's just so many cool, interesting talent, and everybody's just so unique and creative. It's been really fun to see what they're doing. Some really cool contests too, and you can win prize money. I did win a Trubify contest for a Bob Marley cover, and that was really awesome.
Yeah, I saw that. Congrats.
Thank you.
That's
It was
awesome.
super cool. It's what made it able for me to afford this keyboard that I played tonight. So it was,
Nice.
it was really cool. It really, it was very fun.
Yeah, I popped on to Trubify a couple weeks ago, and I don't remember the artist's name or his handle, but he was just live streaming like his process for coming up with loops and beats. And it ended up being a really
cool.
like a real collaborative process. He was taking, like, I gave him some feedback, like what happens if you put a little bit of auto on that and that, and we actually like collaboratively wrote a loop right there on Trubify.
So
it was
cool.
wild, it was fun.
That's pretty cool.
So
That's so
Just
fun.
real-time collaboration and interaction.
Yeah. For me, it's just all about timing. Like, when do I have the time to do it, and when is it convenient? Like, I'd love to watch everything that I could, but if I'm driving or whatever it is, there's just like you can't help where you are in life. And then, but the fact that you can go back and like watch anything archived and get give them 1 cent per view, and you can also there's another word I'm looking for, but like donate. You can tip. You can tip an artist.
Yeah.
So you buy true coins, and there's just like an equivalent, like certain number of coins to US dollars. Cool. And then you can tip them based off of whatever you think that you'd like to tip them. So,
nice. So go to Trubify.
Go to Trubify.
Trubify.com.
Download
the app.
Download the app. Watch content. And the
create content. Yeah.
Create content. The dollars go directly to the creators. That's awesome. Anything that gets money in the hands of the creators, I think that's a big plus.
Yeah.
Especially in this day and age.
So
for real. Yeah.
Tuesdays with Toya, 5 o'clock on Tuesdays. I mean, and you gave up this week, so thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
No. This is awesome.
We'll want to make sure people go check out your podcast at on Tuesdays, and
on Instagram.
On Instagram, on the gram.
Toya makes music.
Toya makes music. That's right. You changed the handle.
Toya. I did.
That's okay. No,
that's great.
We all do it. As long as we don't do it every week, it's fine.
Right.
You got to do what makes
Identity
sense. Identity
crisis.
Yeah, exactly.
What are your upcoming shows in the next week or month or so? Where can people hear you play?
I've actually got a lot. If you go to victoriafragoso.com, so I'd like to make it, I made it a little bit less confusing by changing Fragogo. Everybody kept asking, not everybody. I had a few people ask me if I misspelled my name. I was like, no.
Yeah.
But thanks for asking. So this Friday, I'm actually playing at the Hub in Gig Harbor.
Okay.
And that's from 6:30 to 8:30. And then on Sunday, I'm playing at Gasworks Park again for Community Through Unity. love that space. It's so
Mhm.
cool. And then next Thursday, I'm playing Harmon on Pack Avenue. Thursday the 29th from 6:30 to 8:30, and then Friday October 7th, I'm playing the Marketplace in Bainbridge Island.
Very
Sweet.
cool.
Yeah.
4 good
So,
shows to
I've
go
got
see.
a lot of shows coming
on.
up, and then of course Tuesday with Toya. If you can't make it out to a show,
Yeah,
watch me live on Tuesday.
of course. And again, where can we get your music? Downloads
You can
or
get it
buying physical anything?
Spotify, YouTube, anywhere you stream, but it's going to be Victoria Fragoso. So Victoria Fragoso.
All right.
If she can spell it that easily, you can remember our tagline.
Eventually I'll get it. Eventually
You'll
I'll
get
get
there.
it.
It took me a long time to get my name too. Okay.
Absolutely.
I got to read it off the screen, and I miss it every week. Like I screw it
Oh.
up.
We'll
Just
get there.
one word.
I'm happy to let you jump in before me.
He's the one that wrote it. It's blame him.
That's true. I mean, that's maybe you should rewrite it so that
I
it
will
makes
rewrite
more
it,
sense
yeah.
to you.
You know, I might have to rewrite it.
Yeah.
Without vowels,
kidding.
just consonants.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You take it the gig.
Anything you want to tell viewers that we haven't touched on that you would like to highlight before we sign off?
Watch this show every 2 weeks. You guys are doing this?
Yeah, this is every 2 weeks, and yours is every week.
Every 2
and
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Support both.
So watch Andorian Guitar Works every 2 weeks. It's been really fun. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you so
thanks
much
for
for
coming
being
on.
here.
Yeah.
All right.
Appreciate
And
it.
check if you're watching this episode and you haven't seen our previous episode on Tuesday with Toya, check that out too.
Yes,
Yes,
definitely.
absolutely.
That was a great time.
That was great.
All right.
We have to have you come down to Olympia and hang out with us one of these evenings.
Yes, that'll be so
Maybe
cool.
we'll make a uke, an electric uke.
I'll go
That'll
to
be
the
fun.
open mic. Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause
There
I
you
gotta
go.
play
Cool.
conversations.
Yeah,
All right.
there we go.
Thank you so much. Have a great night,
Yeah,
and
You
we'll
too.
Thanks for
talk to
joining
you
us.
soon.
Okay,
All right.
bye.
Awesome.
that was great.
That was one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, I think I mean, we had a great conversation. She's a great vocalist, wonderful songwriter. She does everything in her own style too. That's the big thing for me. Like, you're doing covers of other people's tunes, and you can do it in your own style. That's a big thing for
Yeah.
me. Not just trying to be the original over again.
Yeah. And then what I appreciate the most about, this was the networking. I think to exist in music, in the industry, it is very difficult, and it's uncomfortable, right? To go out there and put yourself out there, and which is like, hey, it's part of music. But when you're trying to do something new, like I want to put content out there, like this kind of content. And is it okay to go talk to somebody? Is it okay to, like, I see you're doing this and you're successful. Would you mind talking to me about your wins, about your lessons learned, about like, what can I do? How can we help each other?
Yeah,
And like
being
she
open to it, right?
absolutely never had any problem with this from the beginning, and we've been able to support each other and propel both each other forward, which is like,
for sure.
man, just go ask questions.
This is an
ask
important thing
questions.
that I think we've come across quite a bit.
Yeah.
Everybody we talk to is very open and wants to share their experiences with us. It's not, we came in kind of with somewhat of a perspective of there's going to be people that are closed off. We haven't seen that yet at all
Right.
in doing this show, at least. So
There'll be a reality check at some point in time, but I mean, there's
Yeah.
always going to be 1 or 2% where it's not going to work. But yeah,
But even like going to the guitar shows, right?
Yeah.
You brought saying that we are awesome. You're awesome. You are. But yeah, this having other makers pick up your guitar and just not want to put it down.
right.
Like that's fantastic. That's telling you right there that what you're doing is relevant, and the community that we're building is, or that we're contributing to. The community is kind of there. It's just we're kind of finding it and bringing it to us, I think.
Yeah, there's so many obstacles and roadblocks that are already out there. Like the last thing you need to be last thing you need to do is be your own roadblock. Like you will figure a way over the other hurdles, either by learning how to do something better, learning how to do something differently, having a different conversation. But you're not going to get to any of those steps if you're your own damn roadblock, because
Right,
you're not going to move, and the fear is going to push you backwards 100% of the time.
100%.
And yeah, no, I mean, whether it's the guitar or whether it's walking into the Tacoma show earlier on in the year, and like having the conversation about this show with other people who had never heard of such an idea. And they're like, well, that's a really good idea. I mean, we can just we can get a little exposure and also help other people that are challenged on their own personal journey.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
Like, what a concept, and that's what pushes me forward. That's why we're all doing the whole dang thing.
Speaking of pushing forward, what else do we have on the docket coming up?
My phone is over there. Let's see. In 2 weeks, we have the Olympia Guitar Company.
Okay, yeah.
And I believe 2 weeks after that, we have Jasper Amplification out of Texas. Oh, you have a phone. Oh,
yes.
Good. Got Jasper. 2 weeks after that, we have...
And then we have Rented Mule.
Rented Mule, which is going to be another live performance, this time with a full band.
And then Tony DeLizio.
That's right. Tony DeLizio is an awesome rock guitar player who is, I believe, originally from Alaska, moved to Seattle in the 90s, played with a variety of rock bands around here, and he's actually doing some like really cool like animation and graphic design stuff too. So we might even let the conversation stray out of music and just into other creative aspects, because why the hell not?
Mind Adjacent says that we rock. We're doing great things. We need more people bringing others together like we do. We help to overcome the gatekeepers and inspire new artists. Thank you very much,
Dude,
Mind Adjacent. That's exactly what we're trying to do.
That means so much. Thank you. That's the whole point. Yeah. And more people should be doing it. And I think there are plenty that are doing it. We're not the only ones. But I think that we need to be a louder voice. Man, it's so wild. Like, I posted this video, this freaking Instagram reel the other day that blew up, and it was a pickup install. It was like taking one pickup out of one guitar, putting this pickup in another guitar, and making a time lapse, letting people watch it. And like 90,000 people have watched it, several thousand people have liked it, and 2 or 3 people have shit all over it.
Yeah.
And
but that means you're doing something right.
That is an accurate representation of the world.
Yeah. You got to have.
What am I thinking about first? The 2 or 3 people, because that's what hurts. But what about the people that loved it? And so, like, we've got to make the positivity the louder voice in the conversation.
What about the conversations that those hate?
Yeah.
That hate spawned. Like,
yeah.
It's really interesting when you think about, even though somebody's doing something that because they don't like it. What they're doing is they're creating even more views. They're creating more intrigue into it, right? You can laugh all the way to the bank. You get more people at your door.
Yeah, well, and and great. I don't have the statistics behind, or the data behind it, so I can't prove this or back it up. But I can say from personal experience that, quite honestly, those people that are like trying to shit in your house are honestly like, because there's something that's cutting them down on a certain level.
Yes. And
if you can lift them up, the chances are that there's a decent chance that they might actually be a decent person, and they might like start singing a different tune also.
99% of the time it's because you're doing something they want to do.
Yeah. I spent way too much of my life trying to burn people down because they didn't like me, and I realized that like how much weight is on my shoulders that I have to live with, rather than just like, okay, go do something different.
Yeah.
So
and
negativity
really,
bias is strong. It's important to lead with kindness. Yeah. 100%.
Yep. And really, like Tony says, make music every day.
Make music every day.
You're good. I mean, you don't need to cut anybody down. Just do your thing.
Yep.
Just do your thing. And that's what we're doing here. We're having a good time doing it.
Heck yeah.
Apparently we're inspiring new artists. So that's cool. We're bringing people to you to see someone maybe you haven't seen before or heard before. So hopefully that's cool. We got new music on the horizon that we're bringing to you. New makers on the horizon that we're bringing to you. So keep watching. We're booked out and through up until December right now.
Yeah, we're gonna have a fun surprise to announce here pretty soon about one of our guests that we need to touch base with. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. Exciting things on the horizon for Backstage.
Very, very, very exciting.
Very exciting.
And we'll hopefully have some new guitars to to showcase here pretty soon.
Yeah, he's working on a new one right now.
I'm not going to do it next week because I want to showcase Olympia Guitar Company. I don't want to talk about mine, but yeah.
But we might have to compare. I'm just saying.
I finished the prototype of the guitar that I was building, and so if you haven't been following along, the short story is I wanted to build a guitar that was my body. So my body, I wanted something to be like a tradition, like didn't stray too far away from the traditional shape, yet was identifiable and new, but not so radical that it had to be like, you had to really want that or like, so I started drawing and finally figured out the shape that I wanted and found out
she's
that
a curvy bitch.
Finally found out that one of our former guests that was on the show, I didn't realize it, but he was familiar with CNC, and so I hired him to convert my hand drawing into CAD, and he printed out the he cut out the template.
The blank.
He used the template to build the first guitar, which was 1,000 pounds because I used the first wood that I could find available.
Which is the hardest, heaviest wood he could find.
So I love it. I'm going to play it live sometime. I don't even care.
I certainly hope so.
I'm going to have to take a lot of
Maybe
painkillers.
I'll play the Ash one.
Yeah.
Well, you're playing that one.
So that one I took to the Seattle show.
Padauk?
I love it. Padauk. African Padauk. Padauk. It's way too heavy, but I still love it. And boom. But
it
today
is heavy,
I cut.
But it plays very, very, very well.
I cut the second iteration, the first version of the second iteration, which will be the first guitar for sale. It's an Ash body. It's going to be sick.
Yeah,
it'll probably be done by late next week.
All I can say is it's like a woman who's wearing an extreme, what is it, girdle? Is that what it is?
Dear God, Brian.
Corset. It's a pretty guitar. It's very pretty. It's got curves. It's a curvy bitch.
Oh my God. Still trying to figure out our audience, and you're gonna decide it for us.
You know what?
I like it.
No.
I 100%. Right on.
Toya says 100.
100.
I think that's to the negativity bias
I think so too.
Comment.
I think so too.
Not to the curvy bitch. But
we're good.
Dude, it's what it is. I mean, you'll see it. It's a beautiful guitar.
Someone's watching this show with their 6-year-old.
They'll have to explain it because that's what good parents do.
I clicked the button that said this was not made for children. So
that's
I guess
right.
You can say whatever you want.
So the parent will have to make the decision to discuss it with their child.
You want to see how you become an endorser of a product? KISW.
Is that going to really work?
Men's Room Red. Miles and Thrill. Thanks for hanging out with us in February. Yeah.
Two Town Cider.
Yep.
That's what I've had tonight. That's good stuff.
We're endorsing products and we're not even getting paid.
Cosmic Crisp.
It's an apple. It's an apple.
It's a cosmic crisp apple. They're delicious.
Yeah. We're going to spend the next 9 minutes talking about apples and beer.
I'm trying not to snore real bad for the wife tonight, so I'm sticking away from beer and to the cider side and seeing if that works.
You can just sleep on the couch.
No, I'm not going to do that. The couch isn't that comfortable.
That was your first mistake. You never let a couch in your house that you're not willing to sleep on.
I've slept on the couches, though.
The fact of the matter is every couch in this house is more comfortable than the bed.
Our bed is the most comfortable goddamn bed in the world, and we spent the money on it to make sure that that was the case.
It may not have been the smartest move we've ever made.
Well, I mean, we got a huge discount on it because it was the floor model at the home show.
The home show.
Yeah.
All right.
The big Seattle home show. That's the one.
We're out.
Are we?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Fret less, rock more. Someone's texting.
You got a text.
I got a text, and it came right across the Mac. All right.
Yeah, it did.
Fret less, rock more. Have an awesome week. We'll see you in 2.
Take care, guys.